like here, the women here, they it's this thing called shouting. You don't supposed to shout in Uganda. In America, we shout. We talk really black Americans. We talk loud. We
Yeah,
are
you guys are
loud.
loud, man.
So one day, I said to my wife because the son was moving somewhere else. I said, "Baby, get him." She's like, "You're shouting at me."
Oh,
I
did I
said,
shout?
I said, "I'm not shouting at you. I'm just telling you get the son."
Mm.
It was one day. I'm sitting in the sitting room, and I thought I was just helping out. I started straightening out and helping organize the sitting room. She got upset with me because I'm
What?
cleaning.
Okay.
Because she's like, "That's my responsibility. What are you doing? You're taking my responsibilities from me." I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
So
You told me that majority of people that actually leave Africa to go to America to find the American dream, many of them actually are suffering, but they don't want to say it.
yes,
Why
yes.
is that?
In America, it might look like the grass is greener, but the average person is living check to check. As Americans, we got to pay taxes on property taxes. Like my wife and I, we own right now we own two houses in America, and we have to pay property taxes every year. So imagine we could own the house, we could pay the house in cash, and if we go 3 years without paying property taxes,
They take the
they can
house.
take that house from us. In the course of a week, it's easy for us to spend in Uganda shillings 1 million shillings, $300 per week. That's just being modest.
Wow.
So that's $1,200 per month. And you get nothing. Like you walk out of the store with two small bags. So it's expensive to live in America because if you make $5,000, if that's your gross, we call it gross income, then after taxes, you might take home $4,000. And then you have insurances. You have to have health insurance. You got to have life insurance. You got to have automobile insurance, mortgage insurance. If you're renting, you got to have renter's insurance. So you got to have about 5, 6 different insurances.
Damn.
So we devalue marriage. So there's not a marriage culture in America. Now we have what's called a dating culture. I mean, you could be 60 years old and you still talk about dating. 70-year-old adults is talking about, oh, I just met me a new girlfriend. I'm dating this person. I'm dating that person.
All right, guys. Welcome to another beautiful episode of On the Board Podcast. My name is Francis Mokule. It's a pleasure having you guys on this platform again. Now, today I come with a very important visitor, but also someone who is unique to the environment of Uganda. Is a unique person to the environment of Uganda, but also, I believe, someone that is decided to dream or to risk to dream bigger outside of their society where many of us perceive to be where the dream is. It's interesting that many times when we think that the dream is in certain places, people in those places actually think otherwise. But sometimes the dream actually could be there, but it's also important to dream beyond the dreams that we see around us. So I'm here with Dr. Anthony McDonald, who is an African American.
Yes.
Who's been in Uganda since 2013.
Yeah, I've been coming since 2013. Yes.
So technically, we could call him a Ugandan.
Yes.
Yes. And we're going to be having a sit down with him to simply delve into a few interesting issues and conversation in regards to his experience in Uganda. What has he found interesting in Uganda, but also, most importantly, what pushed him to leave America, where many of us dream to be, to come and settle permanently in Uganda. So without further ado, I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. And I think you did a wonderful job at introducing me. I'm called Dr. Anthony McDonald, as you had mentioned. I'm an African American. I am a father, a husband. Those are the most important things in my life.
Amazing.
Also a business entrepreneur. I run an international land development company where I've been building houses in the U.S. since 1999.
Wow.
And I brought that business here to Uganda. Very simple person. I'm a very simple
Yeah, I can
person.
tell from. You know what I was expecting?
Yes.
I was expecting that American swag. But now I'm seeing the African print.
Yes,
It seems
yes.
you've already been swallowed up by culture
I
over
like
here.
I like to keep life simple. I
Okay.
like to keep life very simple
So why is that important for you to keep life simple?
because a number of reasons. One reason is when you make your life too complicated, if there's a challenge that comes about, then that challenge becomes even more complicated. The more simple you make your life, the more simple the solutions are for the problems that we face. Because all of us are going to face problems every single day. But just imagine if you have too much going on, that problem is exaggerated even more. But if you live a calm, simple life, you're able to manage those things. You're able to think much better.
Okay. So simple life, simple problems, simple solutions.
Yes, yes.
That's an interesting way to look at things. Um, well, I want to understand from your perspective, Doctor, what inspired you to leave America? Because we dream of the American dream. Many of us would kill to stay in America. And many people that I've seen go, our brothers from here go to America, oh, they talk about the beauty in America, the money that is in America, the opportunities. And actually, many times they juxtapose the opportunities over there with the lack of opportunity that is here.
Yes.
And then they go on and on about advising people on how to get to America, what opportunities you can, what to do when you're in America, what not to do. So basically, they make it look like it's a promised land you need to be. And then you're here, the typical irony of what the rest of the people that have been to America are telling us.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, to answer that question, what attracted me to Uganda, what attracted me to relocate, there's a number of different things. On a political scale, America is, or I would say, in the past about 16 years politically, America, in my opinion, has been on a decline. What I mean by that, we have been pushing agendas that's very harmful to children in particular, that's very harmful to adults as well. One of the greatest catalysts that caused me to uproot my family was the LGBTQ agenda that's being pushed in America. I believe it's very targeted, especially at African Americans and especially at African American males. I believe it's my opinion that in the American political climate, and I would say this is pre-Trump, in the American political climate, there was an attempt to introduce homosexuality to as many black Americans and especially black American males as possible. I have three sons. My oldest son, he's in the U.S. And when my ex-wife, his mother and I, we were looking for a school for him, so we looked at one of the best private schools in America, in our particular city. So it was a school that she suggested, but I heard some negative things about the school as it relates to them pushing that agenda. So what I did is I called the school and I posed as a concerned parent or interested parent. And I called the school and said, hey, I'm interested in placing my child in your school. He's going to kindergarten. And I heard so many wonderful things about your school. And I think it'll be a great opportunity to have him at your school. So the admissions director, she was telling me all the wonderful things about the school. So then I asked, hey, what about diversity? Do your school promote diversity? She said, yes, we promote diversity of all kind. She said, even in kindergarten classes, we have pictures of two men on the wall showing our children that a family could have two fathers. We have pictures of two women on the wall showing the kids that the family could be two mothers, and that was it. That's what I needed to hear, and I'm very against that agenda. I believe in the more traditional structure that a man is supposed to be with a woman is supposed to be with a man. I believe the family structure is the most important thing on this planet.
Definitely.
There's nothing greater than the family structure. So I say that to say fast forward. I first came into Uganda in 2013. I was invited to film a documentary film on the Toro Kingdom. When I
Toro
came,
Kingdom.
yes,
Okay.
when I came here, I fell in love with the country. I mean, it was just beautiful. And when I returned back home, I stayed here for 30 days. I returned back to the U.S. That same week, I was back online trying to book me a new ticket to come back to
Oh,
Uganda.
wow.
Yes. So 2014, I came, I believe, 3 trips. 2015, there was 4 trips that I made here. During that time, I met a young lady. In 2016, I came back to marry her. So I married into the country. So,
Man, that was so infectious, eh?
yeah. So I mean, the culture. She's very beautiful, but her culture was just as beautiful as her physical appearance. And she's dedicated to her culture. She's a Muganda.
Okay.
And she was like, I never want to go to America. I want to stay here in Uganda. I like my culture. I like my country. But it was a point where I needed to bring her to America because my oldest son was preparing for college. And I didn't want my wife to be here. We just had a son. We just had our first child together. So I didn't want her and my now 7-year-old to be here alone. So I petitioned for them to come to the U.S. Of course, he was given citizenship through my birth abroad. He was given instant citizenship. And my wife, I applied for her citizenship through USCIS. So she was able to get a green card. She stayed in the U.S. for 3 years, and she was able to gain her U.S. citizenship.
Oh,
Yes.
so now your wife in Uganda is American as well. She has dual citizenship.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes. And that was important strictly because of the American passport. That was important for me. So if in the event anything that was to break out here in Uganda,
You'd be on your first flight to
well, yeah,
America.
we were able to fly to America. We were able to fly to Japan. We were able to fly to Australia because of the value of the U.S. passport. So I want her to be. I love traveling. That's one of my vices.
Oh, okay.
So I want my wife to be able to go wherever I go. Her, our children.
So you're a keeper.
Yes, indeed. So
So do you travel with her on every trip that you go to?
well, she don't like to travel, so other travelers. So I do more traveling than her. But that was my reason that I wanted her to gain the citizenship.
okay.
It
Easy
offered
mobility.
easy mobility.
Okay.
Yes.
You hinted on the fact that there's lots of similarities that we carry as Africans with you, the African Americans.
Yes.
So I'm interested. There has been, with several information on the internet and several testimonies from African Americans who have had their first-hand interaction with African women. Oh man, now these praises are like your shit. We're looking at queens over here, man.
Yes,
They talk about how our women out here are submissive. They talk about, there's one I heard and said, if you don't want to die early, please get you an African woman. She's going to cook you the best food. She's going to treat you like a king. And because of their submissiveness, they actually make you submit to them. So talk to me, what is the contrast between African American women and Ugandan women or African women?
You have good women all around the world. You're going to have some good African American women. You're going to have good women on the continent, any other place in the world. What was important to me was I was looking for a woman that was raised to be a wife, where marriage was a core value of hers. In America, because of the feminist movement and now the LGBTQ movement, we devalue marriage. So there's not a marriage culture in America. Now we have what's called a dating culture. I mean, you could be 60 years old and you still talk about dating. 70-year-old adults is talking about, I just met me a new girlfriend. I'm dating this person. I'm dating that person. Yeah. So that's the culture now in America. Now here in Uganda and other parts of Africa, there's a huge marriage culture.
Yeah.
In my wife culture, if a woman is not married by a certain age, they're looked down upon.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, she told me if you're not even called a woman until you're married and you give your husband children. So it was marriage was very important to her, just as important it is to me. So I needed someone that was able to match my values, that value marriage just as much as I value marriage. And just so happened, I found that here in Uganda. When I met my wife, from the time she was a little girl, that was her dream, was to be married. Even from my young age, I've always dreamed of marriage. I always dreamed of having a family. So those value match. So to be direct about your question, you could find there's opportunities to find a humble wife, whether you're in America, whether you're in Uganda, whether you're anywhere around the world. The difference I see is in African countries, there's a greater value placed on marriage. In the U.S., there's a greater value placed on launching your career first, establishing yourself financially, and then in instances, a young lady will be 30, 35 years old before they start to look for a spouse. And now they're at that age where even giving birth becomes a bit more complex, because of the human biology. So those things were important to me, being able to marry someone who value marriage, who value family, and who will help me to create that legacy, long term.
Oh, all right. So that means, you see, honestly speaking, with what I've been seeing on social media in regards to what they portray about African American women, they come off as aggressive, argumentative, and like as people that actually want to be on the same level with men. And I was longing to ask you this question today, looking back at your first marriage and where you are right now. Would you have married the same way?
Well, I mean, anytime you look back, you will make changes. An intelligent person will look at any errors that they have made and they will make corrections. I'm not in the position to speak about that particular marriage. I'm very happy in my current marriage, extremely happy. My ex-spouse, she's the mother of my oldest son. So I have a great deal of respect for him. So it wouldn't benefit me to speak negative about his mother. Definitely. Because he loved his mother just as well as I love my mom. I wouldn't want no one to speak negative about her.
Definitely.
I would rather speak, about my current situation. Now, you brought up the fact that there's online rhetoric about the negative or some negative attributes that's pointed at African American women. I would even say to that when we were debriefing earlier, I brought up the word propaganda. There's a lot of propaganda that is designed to continue to cause, I'm speaking about America, this what we call a gender war between black men and black women. And it doesn't benefit none of us to continue to prolong that war. It has to be a point where we find common grounds and we find a harmony with each other, black men and black women, because black men and black women need each other. I mean, that's the most important relationship on this planet is it's a relationship between a man and a woman. So it wouldn't be beneficial to speak up on the propaganda points. I would much rather look at the fact that we do need each other.
Definitely.
It's time that the propaganda war end, and we need to find a way forward as Black Americans, as Black women, and as Black men. And once we find that way forward, I think that conversation will become obsolete.
Okay. Going back to your inspiration towards coming back to Uganda, coming to Uganda. Prior to again, before we got into the interview, during our first instances of conversation, you told me that majority of people that actually leave Africa to go to America to find the American dream, many of them actually are suffering, but they don't want to say it.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, with me bringing my wife to America, I was able to become even more entwined with the different African communities in the U.S. So we've met countless of people, whether they were from Uganda, Kenya, Liberia, Sierra Leone. I mean, you name the country, right? We have Nigerian friends, and all of them would tell us that, or there's a great percentage of them that would tell us that they face depression. They face a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure from home, where in America, it might look like the grass is greener, but the average person is living check to check. And what that means is, let's say, for example, is the if a family is making US $5,000 per month, their expenses is likely going to be $6,500 per month. So
Whoa.
they're living under the water. So no matter what you make, and that's a human error, I would say, because I think a family can live off of $5,000 a month if
Yeah, I
they
think
live
so too, yes.
beneath their means. Now, it's expensive to live in America because if you make $5,000, if that's your gross, we call it gross income, then after taxes, you might take home $4,000. And then you have insurances. You have to have health insurance. You got to have life insurance. You got to have automobile insurance, mortgage insurance. If you're renting, you got to have renter's insurance. So you got to have about 5-6 different insurances.
Damn.
So that's going to.
Why should you have insurance? I don't
Well, some
understand.
of them are by law. You know, health insurance is by law now. Mortgage insurance, all those things you have to have. Auto insurance is by law. So now that chops into that salary. Then the cost of rent or mortgage, that's going to chop tremendously into that salary. And then when you go grocery shopping, let's say I have a family of 5. So now for us to go grocery shopping in the U.S., in the course of a week, it's easy for us to spend in Ugandan shillings 1 million shillings, $300 per week. That's just being modest.
Wow.
So that's $1,200 per month. And you get nothing. Like you walk out of the store with 2 small bags. So because the cost of living is very expensive.
Yeah.
So here in Uganda, we could spend literally $100 US dollars a month, and we'll have a surplus of food. $200 a month. I mean, we live in very large, so those things are the differences. So if you equate the earnings that you can make in Uganda compared to the earnings and cost of living in the U.S., it kind of evens out. So now if you're a Ugandan and you go to the United States, you're earning $5,000, $4,000 per month, and you're sending money back home to your family. You have all these bills and expenses that you have to pay in the U.S. You become depressed. Some turn to drugs. Some turn to alcohol because they don't know the way forward, because they thought they was coming to greener pastures, but the greener pastures are not there. And I'm saying 5,000. That's very lucrative because that's above the average pay of the average working class person. The average person is going to make maybe about 3,000 per month. Then add on that you're a foreigner, unless you have some type of earned degree. Now, you do have a foreigner class that are doctors, that are professionals, technology, but they still get paid less than most Americans. So they're going to get even less money than the American is going to get. So that money goes very fast. So yes, it might look like the grass is greener, but the reality is when you look, let's say Uganda, here, man, I'm telling you, the people here that own houses, they literally own their house. They have no mortgage.
Yeah.
These people literally, I'm going to houses that are, I'm going to say square footage because that's what I know in the U.S., that are 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, or in square meters, it could be 250 to 400 square meters, and they literally own it. They paid for it in cash.
Yeah, and built it.
They built it.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick.
Yes.
And in the
yes.
U.S., when we talk about in America, most Americans, we indulge in consumerism. So you have young ladies that's buying purses that cost $7,000,
Yeah.
$20,000.
Luxury brands,
Luxury,
Gucci. Yeah.
yes. Spending, just wasting money. But Ugandans can't waste money like that.
Yeah. Everything has to make sense.
Everything has to make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So Africa is labeled as poor, but the reality is Africa is rich.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting statement you've made. I keep wondering what we are rich, yes, but why do we keep thinking that the opportunities actually lie the other side?
Because of the education system. You're educated. Who was that? I think it's I forget which philosopher said it. I think it was Malcolm X. He spoke about being educated by your oppressor.
Yes.
So when we're educated by our oppressor, they're going to teach us to hate ourselves. They're going to teach us the worst of the worst about ourselves. So now when you receive that type of education, you're going to think things is better everywhere else. You're going to think that you're poor. You're going to think that you can't do it. You don't have the abilities. It's a psychological warfare that we're facing while we're here in these African countries being served British education.
Yes.
There's no way in Uganda you should have British education. You should have Ugandan education. Education is designed for a group of people to be able to solve the problems of their community. If you're being educated by the British, then you're learning how to solve the problems of the British.
Yes, yes. And I think it also speaks to what I highlighted earlier on in regards to the political system that we have. When our colonizers got down with us and gave us independence, quote unquote, they handed us a system that is theirs, democracy, and therefore, I believe that for the longest time we've been blamed upon a system that we did not take part in creating.
Yes,
you understand?
yes.
So the narratives out there is no democracy in Africa. There's lots of corruption in Africa, but when you look at it, the system is not unique to our historical, social, and political system. And for a larger part, I believe that Africa is not for the democratic style that the British handed down to us.
Right.
Yes, I believe there has to be a little bit of tailoring done to suit the nature of our society, so that only then shall we be able to uplift ourselves independently. But until then, I believe we shall still be looking at opportunities that are over there. And the funny thing is that when many of our people go abroad, go to America and whatever, they begin to compare the system over there with the system over here.
Yes.
And then they automatically begin to compare and contrast, but not really understanding that this is all a program.
Now, you won't find those that go abroad that understand our tax system to advocate for Uganda to have the same tax system.
Yeah.
So
first explain to me that. What do you mean?
When you work for a corporation, you have to pay income taxes.
Okay.
So they're going to tax you. You got to pay federal taxes, state taxes, local taxes. Depending on what city you're in, you might have to pay a city tax. Then after those taxes, as soon as you go to the grocery store, the supermarket, you got to pay taxes on all the goods. So they took everything from your check. Now, when you go to the retail store, they're going to take money, whether it's the supermarket or whether it's the clothing store. So now you got to pay retail taxes. So it is. So I would love for a Ugandan or other foreign national to come back to their country and advocate for those same taxes to follow like the American system, like what you see in Kenya now, with them wanting to call out President Ruto because he proposed taxes. So you want this from America, but you don't want that from America. As Americans, we got to pay taxes on property taxes. Like my wife and I, we own right now we own 2 houses in America, and we have to pay property taxes every year. So imagine we could own the house, we could pay the house in cash, and if we go 3 years without paying property taxes, they can take that house from us.
How much is property tax? How is it? It
depends. It's statewide. So each state determine the local municipality. Like we have a house in Missouri, and then we have a house in Illinois. So our house in Illinois, those taxes are probably almost triple what we pay for our taxes in Missouri. That's because it's a statewide issue.
Damn. So what? I heard that from T.I. Is that T.I.? Or some celebrity? He said he owned like about 15 acres of land.
Yes.
But if he did not pay the tax for that land,
they'll take that land from
they would take that land from you. Why is the system so
here
brutal
in Uganda,
like that?
We own land here, and we never paid taxes. We started buying land in Uganda, I believe, in 2016. And for all the land that we own, we never had to pay anything. We paid for the land and we own the land. Our kids will own those lands.
Yeah, when you go away or you decide to give it
Yes.
to them. But why is the system very brutal like that? Is it just because there's a huge narrative that even when you pay for the health insurance, you see Luigi Mangione thing, where he killed that insurance boss?
Yes,
I'm told
yes,
that
yes.
the system, despite the fact that it's mandatory for you to have a health insurance.
Yes.
The system is actually very expensive to even give you the best of the health
Well,
care.
but you mentioned the word corruption. So in African nations, maybe the corruption might be a bit clearer to see. But when you look at Western nations, the corruption is kind of hidden behind a
You're
curtain.
smart about it.
Well, maybe you could use those words, but I would say hidden behind the curtain. So let's say health insurance. So you're going to have these large corporations, the health insurance industries, they're going to advocate to the local politicians or the federal politicians. They're going to say, you should make this a law for everyone to have health insurance. So they're the ones who support sponsor the different parties, let's say the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So you'll have huge healthcare industries that sponsor these politicians, and now these politicians pass bills in favor of these corporations. So now whatever the corporation want, whatever these billionaires, the ultra wealthy want, that's what the new law would be. So now that's real corruption. That's what corruption looked like. So now by law, you must have insurance because the insurance industries feel that if everyone have insurance, they will earn more money. So now the president or the senators or House of Representatives, they're going to make sure that every American citizen must have health insurance so that their donors could continue to give them millions and millions of dollars. So that's what corruption looked like.
I think a similar style of corruption is also creeping into this nation, I think, because there's quite a number of policies that have been passed just to favor certain entities that are coming into the nation to do business. I'll give you a classic example of the digital number plates. Right now, every Ugandan is almost mandated to have a digital number plate, which was, of course, by the president. It is designed to track down people in regards to ensuring security. But then the people that designed it actually are using it as a way to make some more money. Build have penalties.
Welcome to politics.
Man, it's just so complicated, man.
Yes.
So I think the system is that a particular system is also coming back onto Uganda, and Ugandans are definitely going to be suffering in that regard. And I believe you're just copying and pasting. That's a problem that is happening again, going back to having that our colonizers' influence. Many of our politicians leave Uganda, go out there on a benchmarking mission. They get whatever they get, copy, and throw it upon the people without necessarily looking at the viability of how it is going to be working for the people. But now back to our conversation here, Doctor. What are some of the culture shocks that you found in Uganda?
Well, I told you there's a lot of things that are related, African Americans and Africans. One of the things is we call it colored people time in America. Here it's called African time, where no one's on time. So the culture shock was, at least in America, that we can be late as Black Americans. But when you come to Uganda, oh my God. You find out what late is. You can have a meeting that's set at 12 p.m. and the other individual would not get there at the earliest to 2 p.m. And they tell you just to be patient. So I think that was a culture shock. Another culture shock is, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually a positive thing. You all are so patient.
Oh
my God, you're too patient. So you guys can be patient on everything. You could be in a car accident and you could just wait there for 6-7 hours, being patient with each other. Everything is about being patient. In America, we are not patient at all. We want things done now. We want things done instantly. So that was a big culture shock.
Okay.
I would say another thing culturally, the Buganda culture. I'm married to a Muganda, and in America, Black Americans, we're physically affectionate, so we like to give each other hugs. So you meet your mother-in-law, you want to give her a hug, like, oh, how are you, But in Buganda culture,
It's still allowed.
I'm not even allowed to be.
Actually, in my culture, if I'm a son-in-law and my mother-in-law is coming from the other end,
Yes.
I actually have to change.
Yes,
the
yes,
route.
yes, yes.
Yeah, you have to change the direction.
So that was a culture shock. But the culture shocks are beautiful. They're nothing negative. They're things that help you learn other people, help you grow. Me being a father, with my small boys, I'm always teaching them that you're going to meet different type of people all around the world.
Definitely.
Everyone's going to have different cultures, and you're going to have to learn how to deal with everybody in every way. So you're going to have to learn how to appreciate everyone's culture. Never think your culture is higher than the next person. Never think it's lower than anyone else's. So you can't think that, because let's say, for example, some people could think, oh, that person's white, that person's Chinese, they're better than me. No one's better than you. Or this person is from this place, this person is from that place, they're better than me. No. This person can look better, or this person could be more fit, more healthier. They're not better than you. We're all the same. We're all humans. Take pride in who you are. Be appreciative of other people. Be appreciative of their culture. Be respectful to it. But no one's better and no one's less than.
Definitely. So you're a doctor, yes?
Yes.
But you're into, when I looked at a portfolio of the work that you do, you're definitely into construction.
Yes,
specifically tiny homes.
Yes.
And then epoxy installations.
Yes.
So how is that? How did that transition
Well,
come from?
I actually was awarded a doctorate degree in humanities for my work and contributions in the literary works field. So in the U.S., I used to turn underprivileged youth into published authors. So then I was awarded a doctorate degree for my contributions to the youth, to the sector of underprivileged youth, teaching them public speaking skills, writing skills, publishing skills, editing skills, and helping them advance their current situation. So that's what my doctorates come from. Now, my professional career has always been or not has always, but a great portion of my professional career has always been in land development. I earned my certificate in construction management and blueprint reading from California State University of San Marcos back in 1999. That same year, I opened my first land development company where I started building new homes. So I have 25 plus years experience in residential home construction as well as commercial construction. So I was listening to a YouTuber named O'Shea Duke Jackson. He has the podcast Kingdom, and he was always he was talking about a lot of African Americans coming to different African countries and why many of them don't succeed. And he said that a lot of times you guys come to African countries and you try to start businesses that you have no experience in. He say it's best to bring your talents, what you were successful in the United States, bring that to the country you come to, and you'll be successful in that. So that kind of set off a light bulb in my head, like, okay, well, this is my industry. This is what I know. So my wife and I, we looked at the housing situation in Uganda, and we discovered there was a housing crisis of 3 million plus housing deficit.
Yeah, there's that. Yes.
So we felt that we can help bridge the gap with that deficit by bringing our tiny home solution to Uganda. And then I was also I brought our epoxy business, epoxy flooring business from the U.S. to Uganda as well, because we wanted to offer something to those that are more into luxury products. Epoxy is a luxury item.
Epoxy
It's not cheap.
It's
not cheap. is more luxurious than tiles. It add more value to your home. It's easier to clean than tiles, and it's more healthier because with the tiles you have that gap, that space between the tiles. It collect bacteria.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
now your family start to get sick, and you don't know why your family's getting sick. So with our solution, we're able to give you a healthier home. We're able to add more value to your home. So we felt that those products would be good to bring to Uganda. The tiny homes, the epoxy, and just construction management in general, because we don't just do tiny homes. We're building a 6-floor apartment complex in Bunga. No, that's in Muyonyo. We have apartment complex in Bunga that we're doing construction management on. We have a huge project in Fort Portal with the royal family.
Yeah, I saw that. You
Yes.
told me. How did that business actually come about?
Well, an ambassador, a UN ambassador, had contact me. He saw the works that we were doing here in Uganda, so he reached out to me, and he was representing His Majesty King Oyo, and he said that he believed this would be something great to bring to the kingdom. This is something that him and His Majesty previously spoke about, and Her Majesty Queen Mother Bess has previously spoken about. So he had, when he discovered what we were doing, him and I had met multiple times. Then he had presented me to His Majesty and Her Majesty, and they loved what we were doing. So we entered into a memorandum of understanding for us to bring our developments to Toro, and to really hone in on the vacation rental industry in Toro to target tourism. And that I'm excited about that, because with that we created a business model where we are making investment opportunities for locals, for any Ugandan to be able to invest in the vacation rental industry in Toro, which is the tourism capital of Uganda. Toro gets 70% of all tourists that come to Uganda. So last year, I think Uganda saw 1.3, 1.4 million tourists. And out of that, 900 plus thousand visited Toro. So that's our target market. So now we're making opportunities for any Ugandan to be able to invest in that sector and be able to earn off of that US, that UK, that Japanese, anyone that comes to Uganda as a tourist and visit Fort Portal, all these foreigners, now the local Ugandans can earn off of them.
How does the business model work?
The business model work where we have a number of different investment packages, and depending on the investment level, you're able to earn a monthly percentage off of that. So we have there's our partners in this. They take care of the investment packages. So we set up meetings with individuals that have interest, and we sit down, see what their capacity is, what their investment capacity, and we carve out a piece for them that's suitable for them.
All right. So you see, getting into a new country, many times there are a few challenges that we face. Because in Uganda, the price you're told many times when you're purchasing something is not the price. So you have to learn how to bargain. So what's that? Tell me that particular experience you've had where you paid for something and like, damn, I was robbed, man.
Well, even in the U.S., I've always been frugal. I've always knew how to manage my money. Even when I was a little boy, my grandfather taught me if you have $5, you could spend $2.50 and you save $2.50. So I would keep, if I had $10, I would keep $5 in the bottom of my shoe. I would never touch it. So I've always been very skilled in money management ever since I can remember. So in my adult life, I've always managed my money. So when I came to Uganda, I knew my first international trip was to Mexico. This was in 1994, 1995, somewhere in that era. And I went to a shop in Mexico and I saw some souvenirs I wanted to buy for my mom. So the vendor, he told me a price, and I felt the price was very high. I was like, no, I was like, that's too high. And I walked away. This vendor ran blocks and blocks chasing me. And he was the one that was going down on the price. So I was like, wow, that opened up my eyes. I was like, okay. So I understood from there. So when I came to Uganda, because I visit many countries between then and me coming to Uganda, I like I said, I love traveling. So I've been to many countries, many developing countries, many well-developed countries. And I learned that you have to bargain. So when I got to Uganda, I was already familiar with that system. So my wife, been in Uganda, she'd be like, man, you could bargain better than me. So no way, if someone give me a price, let's say I'm giving the example. Let's say I'm buying a mango, and they say it's 3,000 shillings, and I know it's supposed to be 1,500.
Yeah.
Let's say that's supposed to be the price. I walk away. I walk away. Sometimes I stand up like, come on. I was like, it's supposed to be 1.5, 1,500. And they're like, okay, give me, you bring it.
Yeah.
But if they give me a price that's just too high, I walk away and I go to the next vendor. And they saw me walk away from them. So they know I didn't agree with the price. So I go to them, I say, I want to buy a mango. I'm going to give you 1,000 shillings. It's like, but you bring 1.5.
You're even getting in the accent.
So I'll be like, okay, I'll give them 1.5 because and so I know the system. So I don't care where you're from, I don't care where you're at. You always have to really be careful with your money. You got to manage your money very carefully. I don't care if you're worth 100 billion US dollars. Matter of fact, those are very wealthy. They manage their money way better than the poor.
Yeah, definitely.
I have one of my attorneys in the U.S. This guy, he's very wealthy, very well off, and I would find out he would do some work at his house himself. I'm like, why are you doing work at your house yourself? It's like, why would I pay somebody else to do this? I was like, geez. And the poor people I know, they want to pay everybody to do it. One of the politicians I knew there, he would do the same. So I learned, I was like, wait a minute, the rich, they don't spend their money like the poor. The poor want people to know that they have something. The poor, you can find a poor person, they could get 1 million shillings. They're going to go and buy clothes so everyone can know that they have money. They're going to spend money so people could see that they have money. The rich, they're going to hide their money. They're going to wear maybe the worst clothes so you could never think they have money. So that's always been my philosophy. I'm not impressed with what you have. You could be, I have clients, and I have this one client, oh my God, they're arrogant because they have a lot of money. They have a nice big house. And I go there, I'm not impressed because that's their money. It's not mine. What can I do with your money?
Nothing.
So it don't impress me. I go home every day. I take care of my wife and my children. That's the only thing that impressed me. Only people I'm trying to impress is that little lady and those my 3 sons. Other than that, I have no one else to impress at all. So being frugal with your money, it goes a long way. When you get I see people, they go out to the biggest restaurants and they spend so much money and they don't have money. It makes them feel better. But it makes me feel worse. It makes me, if I go to an expensive restaurant and I'll take my family out somewhere, take them out to eat, and I still tell my family, look, this is how much we're going to spend.
So you're stingy with your money.
I'm wise with my money.
Yeah.
But my wife is the same. I found a jewel because my wife, she's the exact same. I was on a podcast about a week ago, and I was telling the story when I first flew her to the U.S. I wanted to take her on the shopping spree. I'm excited. I wanted to do this and do that for her. So she get off the plane. I'm like, baby, we're going to go shopping. I'm going to take you to the mall. This is your first day in the U.S. I want to show you the best time. She said, how much you plan on spending? I told her how much I plan on spending. She said, no, we could buy us another piece of land with that money.
Keep that money.
I was like, geez, what kind of woman are you? So she do not let me waste money at all.
Okay.
So we don't waste money in our house. What's the point?
Save it up.
Right.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yes.
And I'm interested in knowing also, like, how have you been able to make your family, your marriage work? Because I imagine,
Oh, marriages. People always say, "Oh, how do you make business work?" Business is easy. Business is easy because you're meeting strangers. You're dealing with people you don't know.
Yeah.
Being in the house, marriage. The good thing is, the first 2 years of our marriage was complicated because it was an intercultural marriage.
Yes.
She's coming from one culture. I'm coming from a different culture. Me and my wife would have differences over stuff that didn't make sense because I would say something and it was translated differently to her ear.
Like what, for example?
Maybe I would. There was something I did. I had like here, the women here they it's this thing called shouting. You're not supposed to shout in Uganda. In America, we shout. We talk really black Americans. We talk loud.
Yeah,
We are
you guys
loud.
are loud, man.
So one day, I said to my wife because the son was moving somewhere else. I said, "Baby, get him." She's like, "You're shouting at me."
Oh, did I shout?
I was like, "I'm not shouting at you. I'm just telling you get the son." She's like, "Why are you shouting at me?" I'm not shouting. I was like, in America, shouting me like, "Yo, do this, do this." That's shouting. But here, shouting just means elevating your voice a little. So I had to learn how to respect my wife's culture and her values. So I had to learn that maybe I'll say, "Hey, baby, can you do this?"
Oh, so you had to tone down.
Tone down. One day, she's gonna kill me. It was one day. I'm sitting in the sitting room, and I thought I was just helping out. I started straightening out and helping organize the sitting room. She got upset with me because I'm cleaning.
Okay.
Because she's like, "That's my responsibility. What are you doing? You're taking my responsibilities from me." I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
So that was a culture shock. That was a culture shock and a relationship shock. So I learned to, me and her, we learned very well to communicate with each other. Like literally, we've been married 9 years now. We just celebrated 9 years.
9 years.
The first 2 years was rough, but from then everything's been. And when I say smooth, it's been very good. You still have your bumps. We still bump heads with each other. But I learned to be quiet. I learned to give her time. She give me time. And we respect each other. And I think that's the most important thing. She respects me highly. I respect her highly. I would say one of the unique things, you can marry someone and you can have problems, with your in-laws. Whether you're in America, whether you're in Uganda, you can have problems with your in-laws. Me and her are so fortunate. Man, when I say both of us have the best in-laws on the planet. My in-laws are crazy about me. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, all of my sister-in-laws, all of my brother-in-law, and all of her mother-in-law, because my father's deceased, my sisters, my brother, everybody in my family is crazy about it. Matter of fact, they spoils her.
Oh, wow.
They spoils her rotten. I think even they care about her more than they care about me. And her family, they spoils me. So we got it very well. We got it very good. We invest a lot in our kids. When I say invest a lot, I mean we sit down, we spend a lot of time with them, we educate them, we teach our kids from home.
Oh, they're homeschooled?
No, they go to a local school, but after school, we're at home. We sit down with them. We do school outside of the school work. They do their homework. After their homework, we bring out our work, and they do more work. They love it though. They love learning. He just turned 7 on Saturday. That just passed. He's in P3. He's been at the age of 6. He's in P3.
Okay.
And our 5-year-old, they push him from baby class to top class. So the older boy, they skipped him from P1 to P2.
Brilliant people.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Oh,
like
wow.
I was telling my wife yesterday, me and the 5-year-old was doing some studying, and the way he read, I'm like, Jesus, like you listen to him, like this boy is brilliant. He have honestly, I think he have like a natural talent. His talent is like purely natural. He just learned, and he don't want no one to teach him. He's like, don't teach me. I know it on my own. And he just wanted to do it on his own. He's brilliant. So we invest a lot in our children. Now, the most important thing with our relationship with for our children, they see me loving their mother, and they see her loving me. We will give each other a peck in front of each other, in front of the kids. We'll hold each other. She'll sit on my lap in front of them, so they can see that interaction. So they can know, like if they do something wrong to her, if they do something out of line, I don't say don't disrespect your mother. I say, what are you doing? Are you trying to disrespect my wife?
Oh,
Yeah.
so how important is that?
Yeah, it's very important so they can know that this woman has someone that's protecting her. You're not going to treat her any. Yeah, she's your mother, but she's my wife. That's bigger than her being your mother. And that's what I tell them. So they have no choice but to respect.
You don't mess around with my wife.
No,
kind of
I
stuff.
don't let nobody play with my wife. Nobody great play with her. Period. I'm her protector. I'm her bodyguard. Yeah, these little boys ain't gonna play with her. And no one now I'm their protector as well.
Yeah,
I tell
definitely.
them, I say, I knew her before I knew you.
Yeah, so it reminds me what Marvin Gaye's father told him before he shot him. But I brought you into this world. I can still take you out of this world.
Yes.
Yeah. So it speaks to how, because I've seen African Americans how they deal with their spouses. They come off as extremely protective. You can tell it, and even their expression.
Yes.
They
Yes.
make sure that they have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is important to show to the children, so that I think they are groomed to be protectors and also providers in the home.
I talk to my sons. I will say, son, when you find your wife, this is how you treat her. I tell them that from my mouth. I say, I always tell them, you better bring a beautiful wife home. You bring a wife home that's as beautiful as your mom, and I'm like, your mom's the best cook, so you gotta find a wife that cooks very well.
Yeah, well,
so
food,
I tell them these things.
Food is very important, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, way to the man's heart.
Yes,
is
it
through
is.
the food.
It is.
That's amazing, Doc. So how many tiny homes have you so far put together?
In Uganda, we just finished our first one. We wanted to do a proof of concept. We started on the second one. We just broke ground for the second one here in Uganda. We just started this project in February. So it was important for us to put together the first one as a display. In the U.S., I don't know how many. I've built many homes,
in the US.
Traditional homes and tiny homes. But here in Uganda, we put up our first one.
Oh, okay, amazing. So I was going through your portfolio of work again through your TikTok, and there was this particular house. I don't know whether it's a tiny home that you are starting to construct with wooden.
Yes.
With a wooden structure, and being that in Uganda we are predominantly used to brick and mortar. I had I saw a lot of people questioning the safety, the viability, because when you look at when catastrophes hit America, especially let's say hurricane and stuff, homes are literally swept simply because they're not built on solid ground such as brick and mortar.
Well, the thing is, even if a flood were to hit Uganda, I don't care what the house is built of. That house is going to go floating as well because the soil is not going to be strong. Water is one of the strongest forces on the planet. But that was one of the challenges that we faced when we started building here in Uganda. Is what we did was we incorporated a hybrid model. So our technology is where we do use timber. We use wood for the framing. And then we use for the exterior and interior walls, we use concrete mortar. So we use cement mortar.
Oh, okay.
So now we brought the best of both worlds together. So here in Uganda, you use bricks and then mortar, plaster, concrete plaster. So we're doing wood frame and concrete plaster. And now the difference, let me explain to you the difference. Now we've met with KCCA and KCCA, they approve our style of building. They actually believe it to be a better technique than what's going on in Uganda. We actually have a project that we're going to do with KCCA with some of the architects at KCCA, and they're going to do a viability test where we're going to build one wall using our technology, and we're going to build another wall using cinder block. And they're going to knock each wall to see which one is the strongest. And I'm excited about it because Ugandans will see with their own eyes, our technology is going to be proven to be the better of the two technologies.
Okay.
So now, with our technology, let's just go with the standard wood frame homes in the U.S. Our wood frame homes in the U.S. without any concrete plaster last 100 plus years, period. Now, when you add the concrete plaster, that's going to give it a much greater lifetime. Much greater lifetime. The concerns that Ugandans had was, one, termites. Are you going to be faced with the house being torn apart by termites, by being timber? And that answer was very simple. No, because we treat our timber with special chemicals that repel termites. Now, you have scientists that's out here in this world, and they understand problems, and their job is to come up with solutions.
Yeah.
So they understood that termites are attracted to wood. So they came up with a viable solution to where there's chemicals that termites will reject, that they cannot come near. So we treat our structures with those solutions, with those chemicals, where it protects from termites and other insects. Now, the second thing was fire. The second thing was, what about fire? Timber houses go up in fire. Well, the solution for that was to apply the concrete plaster on the exterior and interior wall, because concrete plaster is a fire retardant. So now it fights against fire. So that gives it protects the timber. The timber is not exposed to the fire, because the fire will have to make its way through the concrete plaster, which it will not be able to make its way through. Now, the other thing was, would the wood rot?
Yes.
Very good question. And we were able to explain to our consumers that the wood would not rot because it's not exposed to the elements. For one, the wood is treated. For two, the wood is closed in by the concrete plaster. The only way you could face the threat of the wood rotting if the wood was exposed to moisture and sun. Those two, the combination of the two, then you would be threatened with the wood being able to rot. But all of the things was very well thought out. If you look at the state of Florida, they build a lot of houses that are, we call them stucco. That's the same as concrete plaster. And those houses stay around for centuries.
Yes.
They're very durable, very durable. So we're very excited about bringing this technology to the beautiful country of Uganda. And we believe that once people see it and are educated on it, they will love it. Because for what it does is a couple things. Using timber, it reduces the cost of the construction, and also it saves lives. How does it save lives? That might be the question that's asked. The way it saves lives is when you're using bricks, you're releasing carbon monoxide into the atmosphere, into the environment, because you have to burn those clay bricks. And that's releasing those gases. Exactly. So when you release those gases, a lot of children are dying, and the parents don't know why. It's carbon monoxide poison. In America, we call it the silent killer. So now when you reduce the carbon imprint on the environment, you're giving the children a greater chance for a greater future. You're giving them a greater chance at breathing clearly without having many ailments. Now, also, what else happens when you continue to use soil? Soil does not reproduce itself.
Okay.
Timber, we could chop down 1,000 trees and grow them again.
Okay.
But if we excavate 1,000 tons of soil, you'll never grow that soil again. So what happens in 5-10 generations from now?
We have ditches all over.
The children, they'll be depleted of soil.
Yeah, will be depleted of soil.
So this is a much better way, a much better solution, not for now, but even for the future.
Okay. So I'll be on the lookout to see how this unfolds. But so far, I must commend you for the efforts and how you're actually putting your first foot forward to ensure that, because from the conversation you're talking about the Toro Kingdom, you're talking about President Museveni, you're bowling big. I'm very impressed by that. And I was wondering, if I'm an African American who's preparing to come to Uganda or Africa, what are some of the things you tell them to prepare for?
just to, I think the most important thing is to humble yourself. And what I mean by that is when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. When you come to Uganda, if you come to any other African nation, find out what the locals do. Be part of the local community. Don't go anywhere and be bigger than anyone. That's a recipe for disaster. Go mingle with the locals. Go to the villages. Learn the local culture. Appreciate the local culture, and just be humble. Be humble. Learn what you don't know. That would be my advice.
Do not overdo. Don't.
Yeah, there's no point in it. People, I've been to many countries around the world, and no matter where I go to, everyone they have their own system, they have their own values, and it's a lot of you can appreciate their values if you just remove yourself from who you are and try to understand where you're at and the values that they have. I was recently in Qatar. And when I was there, it was a whole different world for me. But I was able to acclimate when I was there and understand the culture because I was willing to learn. I was willing to remove myself from who I am and to try to understand the local people. I ate the local foods and I tried to visit the local places. And I think that's the most important thing.
Okay, amazing. You see, as we close, this is something I need you to help me understand and dispel. I've seen on several occasions whereby many African Americans come off as not knowing or ignorant about the simplest of things in Africa. I've seen instances where they still think we still live with lions. We don't have moles.
Yes.
We're busy kumbaya.
Yes.
I don't know, why is that still prevalent in this day and age where internet connection is very easy for you to just look at things?
That's a very good question. I would say those who want to know, they learn. You have groups of people that just don't want to know. They just don't have interest. Whether you're talking about African Americans to Africa, whether you talk about Africans to African Americans, whether you're talking about Chinese to, there's some people just don't want to know. It's just that, like some people are happy in their ignorance. They just much rather appreciate their ignorance. They much rather appreciate it makes some people even feel bigger than who they are. But I would just say you're going to find those people in the world. We're not going to change that. You're going to find people that are going to still consider that or believe that Africans are primitive, that the societies here are in a time warp. You're going to have people that and you have the internet. You have even broadcast TV now that shows these things. Just like I hear the argument from African Americans, why do Africans think that we are all thugs and criminals? Yeah, that's the images that's projected of us around the world from the media, and they're like, well, why don't they just take time to study? Everyone's not going to take the time to study. Life is too busy. People worry about putting food on their table. People worry about getting their sick child to the hospital. They're not going to take their time to study another nation. It's just not going to happen. It's going to take individuals like me and like you that's going to take time to tell people the differences, to let them know what's really going on in the world. And it's not going to happen overnight. So we will. It'll be a disservice to us to even worry about those that still want that want to live in their ignorance. Some just want to live there. Let them live there. Let them enjoy that. And then those of us that don't want to live there, we get the chance to have the benefits of exploring and learning different things to understand better. So that's just the life. That's the world we live in.
And also, please, because earlier on again, as we were talking, you say that actually when Africans move abroad or travel abroad, they are told not to interact with African Americans for reasons that...
and they're told that by the U.S. government. It's not they're not told that by their village. They're not told that by other Africans. I was told this personally. This is what I was personally told from groups of Liberians, groups of Nigerians, groups of Kenyans. These are individual groups that have told me out of their own mouths that I've met different times in my life, even a group of Ethiopians that I met different times in my life. I met in different places and they don't know each other. They told me that immigration told them not to interact with African Americans because they could lose their green cards. That's what was told to me from these particular individuals. I can't attest to that's what every African was told, but I can attest to this is what was told by these group of individuals from their mouth to my ear. So there's the divide and conquer.
Oh, wow. That's very sad. But forget about the divide and conquer. From this particular conversation, ladies and gentlemen, I think, and this is a specific message to the African Americans who are out there, who actually might want to move but are not certain on what to do. Please, Dr. Anthony is in Uganda in his flesh. He's thriving. He's a businessman. Like I said alone, he's bowling big. He's meeting the who is who of this nation. And it's because he understood where his craft lies and now he's applying it into Uganda. So if you're coming to Uganda, should you choose to come to Uganda or any part of Africa, have some skill, have something to offer. But most importantly, you need to humble yourself. When you get into these nations, we have cultures that you need to sit down and learn. Once you've learned these cultures, then you'll be open to share it, to getting the culture, whatever culture that you've come with, mix it together, and then we can make a cocktail of something that is very, very good. Otherwise, Africa is still open to African Americans and anyone else that would love to move here. But then to our brothers and sisters that are currently dreaming on going to America, I would say that go back. You can go and find out. More like go F around and then find out. You go F around and then find out by yourself, and then probably you will know that opportunities actually lie here. And I always ask myself, why is it that it's easy for people like you to see opportunities in Uganda, but for us it's not easy?
Well, it's easy for any foreigner when they go to any foreign land to see opportunities, because if you a Ugandan go to America, you're coming with virgin eyes.
Yes.
So you're going to see things that I'm going to overlook because I'm jaded. I've been there my whole life, so I'm not going to see the opportunities as you are. When I come to Uganda, I'm coming to Uganda with virgin eyes. You're jaded. You're exhausted by Uganda, by the system. But for me, I'm looking at it like, wow, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity right there. And I'm excited. So the same way you would go to America with excitement, I come to Uganda with that same excitement. So any foreigner in any nation, they appear with virgin eyes and they're able to see things a bit more clearer.
Amazing.
So they see opportunities that the natives might overlook.
Amazing. So Habibi, come to Uganda. Doctor, it was a pleasure having you.
It was my pleasure.
This was a
My
very
pleasure.
holistic conversation. I hope we could have this again.
Of course.
All right.
I'm around.
All right. So guys, I hope you guys have learned a few things from this particular conversation. For me, I have a lot of takeaways from here. It also teaches me, this conversation has taught me to sort of like look more into the opportunities within my surroundings. But most importantly, also understand that sometimes the opportunities we want outside, they're actually here, but it takes an extra step for us to actually identify them. It has to start with us. Now, that and more you'll find out within this particular video. My name has been Francis Emukule, and with me has been Dr. McDonald, Anthony McDonald, who is an African-American, lived here for over 9 years now, married happily and also running business here. So if you're an African-American out there that would love to share your information or stories here on this platform, please, you're welcome. Until we meet you guys again. Bye.